Hey, this is RhysJura back for another video about Overwatch. Today I'm going to be looking at giving you guys some tips to help you win more games in competitive play. And these are the sort of tips that aren't based on like mechanical skill or more just the ways of approaching the competitive format. Hopefully have some more success. Cheers guys. Right, so our first tip, number one, is dead simple and it can apply to basically any online game that you're ever going to play, which is just don't be toxic, right? I know sometimes you're going to get mad and your team are going to be awful and you're just going to want to flame them like to high heavens and just let them know how you feel, but just don't. It never helps you win, and you are going to lose games, you're not going to win them all. And if you communicate with your team and are more friendly towards them, you're more likely to have a good go at the game. Even if you lose eventually, you're going to have more fun, which is what we're here for at the end of the day. So that's my tip number one, just don't be a douche.
Five, four, three, two, one. Round one. Capture.
Right, tip number two, which you can do before the game even properly starts, is to encourage your team to have a good team comp. And obviously, keep it in line with tip number one. Do this in a nice way. Don't be like, oh my god, you knew, why would you pick Bastion or something like that. Just friendly encourage and just be like, oh, a Pharaoh would be really good here. It'd really help us win. And you'll find that that approach is much more likely to get people to switch to the heroes that you want. And also, obviously, like so that you're not a hypocrite, you should also be looking to make your team comp better yourself, which is why I normally wait a while before I just don't just lock in a champion that I want to play. I'll let a couple of other people lock in, and then you want to try and just pick something that will make the team stronger. Pick a tank if there isn't one, a healer, support in general, all that good stuff. So yeah, tip number two, encourage your team to have a better comp, and personally make sure that you have a good comp. Tip number three falls in line fairly well with number two, which is do switch heroes throughout the game. Don't just lock in the champion you start at the beginning of the game and play nothing else for the rest of the whole match. Swap. The only reasons that you don't want to swap, even if you think it'll be beneficial, is if you're the only tank or if you're the only healer, because normally you're just going to cause more problems than you solve. But yeah, like adapt to the situation is what the game's all about, and don't just sit there like, oh, I'm a really good Reaper, I'm going to play Reaper all day, and then just realise you're getting absolutely hammered because they have bastions or whatever, and just switch appropriately. Great, lots of great resources online for you to learn what sort of heroes counter the others, and I will be doing a future video on that, like an overall summary of who counters who. So yeah, tip number three, be fluid with your champion choice and just keep swapping to best fit the situation. Never know, sometimes you get lucky and you will get to play the same hero all game because your team is making sure of that and their team isn't swapping. Who knows? Tip number four stays in theme of the champions that you play. Do play champions that you're comfortable with. Like the normal game mode quick play is there for a reason. If you want to go practice a champion that you've never played before, it's a good place to go practice it. But don't just jump into a ranked game and having never played someone like I don't know Tracer before, go, oh, I think Tracer would be good here, and then pick Tracer and proceed to just feed your ass off. Do play champions you're good at, and then obviously you might go, oh, I'm only good at a couple of champions. I'm not gonna be able to swap when I need to swap throughout the game. Then the simple solution to that is just to go play some normal games and just try out every hero and just focus in on the ones you like. Normally, you can get away with being good at one section of heroes and then being able to play one of each of the others. For instance, I'm mostly good at playing the tank and the offense heroes. There's a couple of offense heroes I'm not big on, like Tracer, but I can play all the tank heroes, and I'm good at a couple of the defense heroes reasonably, and a couple of the support heroes reasonably. So you just gotta, it's good. It's okay to have a focus on like the sort of playstyle you're good on, but there are going to be games where it calls you to play something you're not particularly amazed or happy with, but you still got to try and keep all your options open. So play champions you're good at, and try and get good at as many champions as possible. Tip number four. Right, tip number 5 is arguably one of the most important ones, which is just to remember how you win games in Overwatch. You don't win games by having the most kills or having the most damage done. You win games by completing the objective. So it's all well and good having a massive KDA and loads of damage done, but if you're just running off and chasing people and not really getting anything done on the objective, you may lose still. So yeah, tip number 5 is going to be play for the objective, and you'll find that you'll win more games. Push the payload, push the control point, stand on it, stay near it. Like some heroes, in some circumstances, it's okay to go do that, like with Genji, and obviously the snipers don't really stand on the objective. But overall, play the objective. Okay, don't go chasing them off to spawn or camping in a building that doesn't really overlook the objective or anything like that. Just play the objective and you'll win more games, I promise. Right, time for tip number 6. This one's a little bit kind of less blankety and will change a bit depending on the scenario, but it's a good overall general idea for Overwatch, which is to not just hang on to your ult all the time, and to use it whenever you see a decent opportunity. If you're playing with a team of 5 other friends, then this doesn't really apply because you guys are going to want to coordinate together to get the best out of your ults. You know, like suck them in with a Graviton Surge and then smack a Hanzo Dragon through them and just completely wipe the enemy team and make them wish that they decided not to play today. But when you're just playing like ranked with randomers, it's very rare that this sort of amazing alignment happens, and you're gonna just want to use your ult whenever you see a good opportunity. I've seen so many Mercies just never resurrecting anyone because they're hanging on to it for that amazing 5-man play of the game resurrection, and it just isn't likely to happen, and it's just not going to help you win. The best thing you can do is just use your ult basically on cooldown, even if you're just going to kill 1 or 2 people or resurrect 1 or 2 people, just so you can help turn the tide in your favour, which is what Overwatch fights normally come down to, is number of advantages. If you go into a fight as, I don't know, let's say Reaper, and you see, oh my god, it's the healers right there with a McCree, and you just ult them, and they both die, you're probably going to end up winning that and taking the objective because it's become a 6v4. And this is the sort of thing that you can do to help carry your team. Not just sit on your Reaper ult and go in, oh, I need to wait for get 6 people in it and get that sick play of the game. Getting play of the game is lovely, but winning the game's better, right? So just don't hang on to your ultimate forever. Also, just to help sometimes get this amazing synergy in like random games with random people, just tell your team when you have it, when you have your ult. So if you're playing Lucio, just tell them that you have dropped the beat, and hopefully if they're smart, they will know that they can make a really decent push. Or if you're Zara, tell them that you have Graviton Surge, and then maybe someone like a Hanzo or a Reaper or someone like that, or Fire even, will be like, she's got Graviton Surge, I'm going to wait for that, and we're going to mow them all down. But yeah, the general gist of it is, don't get greedy for play of the games and use your ults to turn the tides of battle as much as possible.
1. Round 3. Capture the objective.
Right, so tip number 7 is to play to your hero's strengths. This one may seem a bit obvious, but I've seen it happen far too much in the games I've played already, where you'll see people just trying to get things done that their hero isn't meant to do. Symmetra isn't meant to go charging into the front lines and lays people down. She's meant to set up traps, keep teleporters, keep people shielded, and get cheeky kills where she can. And just like a Pharah's not meant to, sit in a room setting up traps, she's meant to be flying above trying to pick off key targets. Just play to hero strength, and again you'll find far more success. An easy way to practice this is to play someone like Reinhardt, where it's all about playing to your strengths. If you don't play to your strengths with Reinhardt, you're basically useless, but if you play to your strengths, you're unstoppable and you're really good for your team. So yeah, that's a really quick and simple tip, but it's just to play your hero the way it's meant to be played, and you'll find that you'll win a lot more. And just even if you don't win the game, you'll have a better game yourself, which is the best way to improve. Alright, tip number 8 is a kind of a funny one, but it's really important and really simple, which is focus mercy. And what I mean by this is the general principle of try and kill the supports first. There's no point in just pummeling all your damage into someone like Roadhog or Reinhardt when there's just a Mercy standing behind him healing him up. Not only are you just not getting any real damage into their team, you're actually just giving someone like Mercy more, like a quicker roll, which just means she's going to resurrect them when you actually do eventually manage to kill that Roadhog and his friends. So yeah, the simple but important message here is focus healers if you are damaged. If you're playing someone like Pharah or Genji or Tracer, just focus people like Mercy and Lucio and just try and get them dead so they can't res or heal their team. It's that simple, right? Right, and the final tip, number 9. It's a very, very simple one, but it's very important, and I'm just not seeing many people do it, and it's really tilting the hell out of me, which is to communicate with your team. This Overwatch has an inbuilt voice chat functionality in it, so like you should talk to your team. It really, some of the best and like, most easy games I've had are games where I've been talking with a good amount of the members of the team, and it's just kind of free wins if you're communicating and not, because you can call out Reaper up on the top, or there's a Pharah in the top right window, or we're getting flanked by a Tracer, all that sort of stuff which you can't just type out in the middle of the game because you're just going to stand there like a pleb and die. And it's just so important and just makes winning so much easier. And you can keybind the push to talk button to be one much more easier. Like I have it keybound to one of my mouse buttons so I can press it without any sort of kind of break to my gameplay. And even if you really are too shy to talk on voice, use the communication reel as well. Like I said in the previous one, just telling people when you have your ultimate, or that telling them that you should be grouping up, or that you need healing. It's just all these little things that add up to help you win a game. And that's how it's just yeah, you just communicate, guys. Well, that's been my 9 tips to help you win more in competitive play without any sort of mechanical improvements. I hope that you found them somewhat helpful or useful, if all of them, if not some of them. Please like and subscribe if you've enjoyed it, as I will be putting out even more Overwatch videos to come, including my guides and just general gameplay tips and advice. Please comment in below if you have any more tips that you want to share with other people, or any sort of comments on the tips I've made. This would be really helpful. Also, if you want to give me any sort of suggestions for videos that you'd like to see in the future, I'll be happy to take that on board. So once again, thank you for watching my video, and I hope that you learned something from it. It's RhysJura out.